Hi, this is Reese Durazo, and I'm here to talk about on episode 2 of Durazo Productions of our movie Backside the Moon. You can see our movie on Prime Video. Now, I have a story to tell you about myself when I was really young at an early age of 9 or 10 years old. Back in the old days, maybe in 2008 or 9, my parents were really worried about me because I was diagnosed on the spectrum at a very early age. Um, I did certain things I do not want to talk about that were not considered normal. I had certain quirks to me that that I lacked a lot of social cues basically, and so my mom wanted to either hire a therapist or put me in some, class in order to get me to socialize with people or spend money to hire someone to help me or, tutor me or something. And so I remember my parents went to Costco, and when I was really young, I've always loved YouTube. I've used to watch YouTube all the time. When I got off the school bus, I've always wanted to, watch YouTube videos. I've watched YouTube videos of people that did short films, and so it helped me. I was very inspired, and doing this was a really, really amazing form of art. And so I remember my parents went to Costco and they were looking through cameras, and my dad said to my mom, "Hey, what about we get this camera?" And it was a $300 camera that they found in Costco. My mom kind of declined, but my dad talked her into it, and it was mostly because, you know, it was a way of either getting me out of the house. My dad did not want to pay a lot of money for a therapist, and my both my parents were very worried about me, so they made the decision of buying a camera. And after they bought the camera, um, I started playing with it, and I was learning, different techniques. It was the first time I got outside because I was inside all the time, and I didn't socialize a lot. So I went outside. I filmed myself doing it. I did, little short clips, and then, my dad would sometimes crop it or edit them and stuff like that. And I remember my mom went up to my dad and said, "What happens if he breaks the camera?" And my dad is like, "Well, if it breaks it, then, he got some use out of it. It's, you know, it's something he's, very passionate. What about you just, let him play around with it for a month or so and see how things go?" And I was able to film a lot of things. One of the first short films I did was called 008. It was a little spy movie. I used to watch James Bond all the time. I was very, very inspired by James Bond. And so um, we made a little short clip called 008. And I would film myself doing spy stuff, you know, fighting zombies and driving a car and shooting things. And, it was the first film we did. And another thing is we also made another short film of a Michael Jackson dance. And it was another thing I like to do. I've always loved dancing when I was little. And, we used to dress up in Michael Jackson gear and we would dance. And that was another short clip, short film we did. So I remember we were doing a lot of short films, and I would always, and it was the first time I started talking with friends and interacting and making friends and trying to join them in my, little camera, little short film movie, quality thing. And I was trying to get many people, and it was the first time I was ever interacting with people. And so I remember my dad what was he wanted to do something special, and he wanted to do something that involved with a story and a script. So what my dad did is he took a bunch of little tiny pieces of paper. He write little doodles and pictures and words, and he clipped them on our back wall in our kitchen. And we were we were going through a lot of stuff, and we were wondering, hey, he was trying to construct a story for the movie that we developed called Backside the Moon, but it wasn't. We didn't even know if it was going to be a full length movie. We didn't even know what was going to happen. We weren't even thinking about making a movie or making money or this and that. We were just experimenting. And so another thing is that my dad went all over the house, and we would he went in the backyard, he went in the front yard, he went all over our house and digged up trash, styrofoam, old pieces of stuff, pennies, and styrofoam and all this stuff, razor blades, and he built a spaceship out of it. And so I I thought he was out of his mind because, you know, he was very serious about this. And so I just went with it because all I wanted to do is act in movies when I was little. So he constructed a little, actually a life size model ship that we built out of junk and trash. And we built tracks with it with wood and two pipes. And we've put it on the track, and we had a camera, and we didn't even had like a good quality movie camera. We had like a regular camera you usually go on and make little short clips and videos that you would normally see on YouTube. But we knew nothing about filmmaking. We had no experience. We've never went to film school. My dad had to learn how to um, film with a camera, and had to learn how to work with software by watching videos, and mostly from people that have that are just regular, like indie filmmakers or YouTubers and stuff like that. And we learned from there. And so we learned as we go. We've kept experimenting, and then eventually we decided to get our whole neighborhood involved and said, hey, we're going to make a full length movie. And I'm like, what? And so it was probably the first time I started acting, in a huge full length movie with a huge, cast of people. And even though it was low budget and we had barely a budget, to afford all movie stuff, we, we, we just, we just kept going. We worked with it. We've learned from videos, we've learned from YouTube tutorials, you know, all kinds of stuff. We worked with stop motion photography. And by the way, we don't have any computer graphic images whatsoever. We had to build models. We had to build miniature sets because we couldn't afford an actual set. And so I remember about 90, if you ask me, about 95% of the movie is filmed in our living room. We had nothing but a green screen for like many, many months. And then sometimes we'd take it down, and then a few months later we would put it back up again just to make another scene. And so we mostly acted in a green screen throughout the entire movie. And the only real life scenes, like the real um, location scenes without a green screen, is when we were outside of our house or maybe at a neighbor's house, which is as far as we gone. We haven't gone to like big like locations. And so you know, we've worked with everything. And so that's what it was so amazing about this movie and how we were able to put everything together. And so it's a it's a it's pretty special what we were able to accomplish. And we didn't even think any of this was going to be possible. And so my biggest concern was is that um, I didn't even know where this was going to take me. But learning to do this film not only helped me interact with a lot of people, it helped me a lot later in school. Like, because I used to struggle a lot in school, and ever since I started going through high school, my grades started slowly improving, and I started getting into harder classes during my junior and senior years as I started getting really good, and it helped me, a lot, both physically and academically and socially. And I wound up, later in life, I was able to, work it in a job. And I was, I'm planning to now go back to school. I'm right now going to be going to college, and I'm already driving. If it took me on a really long road, and it really helped me out in life. I never knew I was able to get that far. And, I'm having a lot of, plans that I'm doing, and I've always wanted to make things happen. And so we managed to accomplish so much with this movie. And it's not even with me, it's with a lot of people that are, either on the spectrum or have certain, disabilities, helped improve a lot of people's lives. And, one of our set designers, had, half, we have a set designer, really, really smart man that helped us with the military uniforms, miniature sets, and, all the mostly military equipment. He's a very special guy, and he's helped a lot. And you can see the whole cast member down below in our, website, which is backsideofthemoon.com, www.backsideofthemoon.com. And we have many, many cast members from different special backgrounds that have put together this movie, and we never even know how much we were able to accomplish. Thank you. Have a good day, and please subscribe.